Good morning. I'm Nat Fields. Of course, I have. Good morning. Thank you. Uh, I have the pleasure of being the CEO of the Urban Resource Institute, URI. You all heard of URI? All right. I always start at this place. I am so proud to lead such a remarkable team, and many of our URI team members are here. And so we can get started early. Just give a round of applause for all of our team members. We do so much in this space. In our space, of course, we work with about 30 to 40,000 e- people each year to end domestic and gender-based violence as well as reduce homelessness. So it's a big charge, and we have such a wonderful team doing it each and every day. So on behalf of URI, I may have to hold this back and forth. On behalf of URI, I want to welcome you to Pal's Place. You- Pal's Place is just one of 9 of URI's residential sites across New York City. And we're so proud to be together today to dedicate this Pal's Place Pet Haven with support from Pet Smart Charities. So let's give it up for Pet Smart Charities. 2 meaningful milestones: the opening of the rooftop garden, as well as some of you may know this. I'm looking at some in the room who took the journey with us. 10 years ago, we had this brilliant idea to reduce barriers for victims of domestic violence who had pets. And so we're here also celebrating our 10th year of working with people and animals living safely. I cannot believe how quickly time passed. Yes. So, at URI, we like a long celebration. We're kicking off the 10th year, and we will celebrate throughout the year. It will culminate in our annual event in May, which is our gala event. We're going to celebrate all the work throughout the year. I'm looking around because I want to see many of you RSVP early. Dondi, who's here, will take your name so we can make sure we have your information. Now, let me give a special welcome to those who represent just a small part of the stakeholder and the collaboration that we are engaged in. As you all know, we don't do this work alone. We always talk about survivors are at the center, our clients are at the center, and we work with so many people, all of our team members with different roles and responsibilities, to our government partners, to the community members. And I think as we talk today, that's the way we want to organize ourselves and continue to work with people to end domestic and gender-based violence. So I do want to do some shout outs. Of course, representing our governor's office from Kathy Hochul is Debbie Lewis, our regional director from Brooklyn, who will be offering some remarks a little later today. We'll expect to see a little later today. Many of you know State Senator Kevin Parker. He's known for making a grand entrance, so we expect to see him a little later today. Early today, we had Council Member Farah Lewis. She came in quite early and she did a tour. She's a friend of URI, and her team members are here today, continuing to support us. We're so proud. We're going to have later here today Rima Rivera, Deputy Commissioner for Domestic Violence Services, who will be speaking as well. And of course, who took the journey with us, our longtime friend, Commissioner Cecile Noel, who's led the mayor's office to combat, let me start over, who's led the mayor's office to end domestic and gender-based violence, and who definitely created the longest title in the city government for the agency. She'll be sharing a few thoughts as well. Of course, we're here talking about survivors, so I want to really thank some of the survivors who are in the room who are here today joining us as guests. That's Hope and Vanessa. You'll hear from Vanessa a little later as she gives some remarks for the day. Also want to recognize UR's leaders who were vital to the creation of and launching of groundbreaking PALS Place back in 2013. They don't always like when I give them a shout out when I say they've been here for quite some time, but I think it's a great thing that you can find a company and be part of and do amazing things on behalf of the company and behalf of survivors. Jennifer White Reed is already whispering, "Don't shout me out, please." But you know it's going to happen. Jennifer White Reed, of course, is a terrific team member. She holds the title of Senior Vice President for Domestic Violence, Residential, and Legal Services. And of course, she helped to take my vision of PALS and brought it to fruition. She did a lot of groundbreaking work around implementation, working with some of our government partners to help see the light in terms of the efficacy of people and animals living safely. I want to publicly congratulate Jennifer White Reed. She's going to move to our executive team in July. It's her new title she'll be wearing as Chief of Staff and Senior Advisor to the CEO. I don't know if this person knows I'm going to shout him out, but Ken McCrae is probably one of our most senior staff members. And Ken, we started to think about people and animals living safely in 2012. Jennifer got with Ken McCrae. And when you have really good ideas, your team doesn't always think they're really good ideas. So we have to sort of bring folks along. It's complicated, right? We're working with people. We're working to partner. We're often under-resourced, and then we're talking about working with another living being, pets. So Ken McCrae site, Urban Women's Safe Haven, was a site we piloted people and animals living safely. And Ken has been a terrific leader and been with URI for quite some time. So thank you so much, Ken McCrae. So this is a friendly crowd, and I feel like so many people know the statistics, and sometimes you don't want to go into too many of them, so I won't, because as I say them, I know many of you already know that when we start to look at domestic violence, not just in New York City, but around the country, we know that it's pervasive, and together we're working to this end, but still, 1 in 4 men and 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men will experience intimate partner violence during their lifetime. And right here in New York City, the police department, who are often first responders, they still answer about 230,000 calls per year. That's like 600 calls for help for victims of domestic violence each day. And for our homeless families folks who are here today, we know that DV is a major driver to homelessness. And so we know, as we start to look at a variety of risk factors, we want to ensure that we are creating systems in both systems so that clients could have the best outcomes possible. So we had this brilliant idea in 2012. We went to conference, and we tend to go to conference because we want to continue to engage in this, seeking knowledge and collaborate with our colleagues. And one of our colleagues was presenting on risk factors. We know survivors have a variety of risk factors. Domestic violence have many different things: financial abuse, psychological abuse. And part of our role is not to sort of label or judge, is to understand it. And what we came to understand through conferencing is that about 50% of victims of domestic violence said they wouldn't leave their home or wouldn't seek safety if they couldn't bring their pet with them. And we understood this because we understood other crises, whether storms or other difficult issues, where systems didn't respond to the needs of individuals with pets, and people stayed. And unfortunately, they had horrible outcomes. So understanding that, URI quickly understood that we had to do something about it. And when we started to think about it in New York City in 2012, not one domestic violence shelter allowed people to have their pets with them. So we quickly partnered with our city and state partners, and we engaged the literature. We talked to a lot of survivors, and we piloted, as I said, people and animals living safely at Urban Women's Safe Haven. We started small. You want to start small to show that it's important and you don't have negative outcomes. We documented, we evidenced the need for it. We started at UWSH with about 10, I want to say, a small 10 pets, no dogs at that point. And we started to slowly listen to the needs of survivors, and we started to incorporate all pets. So I want to say, as we talk about 10 years, we fast forward to today, 9 of our DV shelters has the PALS program. So it's about 300 families, 304 families at any given time can bring their pets into shelter with them to stay safe, stay together, and heal together. So we also are very happy that we continue to contribute to the literature. And one of the things we did was partner with the the National Coalition, or the National Domestic Violence Hotline, I should say, and we issued a national report which many continue to use to show the need for people and pets to live together. And so out of that report, some of the recommendations, and we have the report for you to read. You don't need to read it today, but if you're not doing anything Saturday night, we want you to break it open and start to read that report. We promise it's not too long, but it's very important. It's also on our website that you can download. Some of the recommendations, and this is what we want our partners to remember, that often when we start something new, we're relying on a lot of individuals, foundations, the private sector. We still need government to support other institutions, other providers to roll out PALS. So we still have a lot of work to do, and we're calling on you. So take this as a call to action. We still need funding to support the PALS program and the training to help other service providers accommodate pets in their sites. Some of you know that providers, we're still the only provider to allow pets and people in DV shelters. We know our providers, our colleagues want to do it. We need to provide the training and the resources so they can do it. No unfunded mandates. We also need to increase the awareness of pet-friendly services through media and opportunities like this to talk about the issue, to be able to do outreach so others are aware of it. So we're increasing our advocacy to drive sustainable and systematic change. I want to also say, I was talking to our government affairs team earlier today, and I think we're really looking at a legislative roadmap around our PALS policy, and we've dubbed it the PAW, P-A-W, print. They come up with these things seriously, so the PAW print. And while I joke about it, it's really going to talk about the work that we've done and what we learned and what could be replicated around the city, around the state, and around the country. So it's going to be a guide for lawmakers who, like us, are committed to removing barriers to safety by exploring opportunities around co-living. The PAW print contains policy recommendations that the city, state, and federal government could implement right now. So we want to thank our New York State leaders who are supporting this particular legislation. New York State Senator Deputy Mayor Mike Janaris, and New York State Assembly member and Housing Chair Linda B. Rosenthal. These two legislators have become dynamic forces for animals, and of course included the first bill, the PAW print. It's a policy recommendation. Again, this bill would help to reduce costs of vet care for animals in co-living shelters, and allowing vets to satisfy a portion of their continuing education by providing free vet care. Lauren and Will are here. They wrote this part for me. As you know, they're great writers, so I'm not going to go through all of it, but they're over there, and it will give you a 5-minute high-level sense of what it is. Before I introduce Jennifer White-Reed, I do want to say I was talking to Hope just a moment ago, and she reminded me, as we celebrate this pet haven, that DV shelters are places where it's a transition point, I think we were talking about, where people come to heal so they can move on and do tremendous things in their life. And this space here represents an opportunity to be part of nature, to support the healing process. And so I'm so delighted that some of the survivors are here with us, and one will talk soon. And it's always good to see you, Hope, and congratulations to everything that you've done. All right, so let's get Jennifer White-Reed up here, as she did a lot of work in the launching of PALS back in 2012 and 2013. Jennifer, all yours. Right here. It's probably easy to hold. Yeah,
I'm a little shorter than that.
the volume goes in and out, though.
Okay, so
It's probably easy to hold.
good morning, everyone. It is so nice to see your beautiful faces this morning. So thank you, Nat. It really has been a journey these past 10 years. So I am thrilled to be with you this morning to celebrate a decade of safety and healing for people and pets. Little did we know back in 2013 that PALS would help create such an important movement in innovative service delivery. When Nat Fields asked me to launch a groundbreaking program for pets in domestic violence shelters, it seemed an almost impossible feat. But it had to be done. And URI was the agency to do it. With the support of a wide array of partners, agencies, government entities, elected officials, funders, and the media, and of course, survivors' voices. We created, piloted, and launched People and Animals Living Safely, PALS. Now, 10 years later, we look back on an extraordinary journey of innovation, growth, and impact. We are proud that URI is a nationally recognized expert and thought leader on the intersection of pets and domestic violence. As you can imagine, this is also an enormous point of pride for me personally. But in the end, PALS is about the lives we touch, both people and pets. We can tell the importance of allowing domestic violence survivors and their pets to stay and heal together, but it is the human stories that bring it to life. So here with us this morning to share her own story of triumph and the role of PALS and in her journey is former URI PALS client Vanessa Santiago. Do you need help? Do you want to hold or have the mic? You can hold, right? Okay.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Santiago. I'm a former client of PALS. And before I get started, I just want to show you the pictures of my emotional support animals that help me every single day. If you can see, and I'll tell you who they are. So this one is Sheba. She's a pit bull. She's 3 years old. And then I consider the babies her kids. This is Achilles and Akita. They're twins. They're pit bull and husky. And they're a year and a half. Okay, so I think I'm gonna put this here. All right. All right. I'm going to read because I'm not that well at public speaking, but I'll try my best. So, good morning. Thank you, Miss White Reed, and congratulations on a significant occasion of the 10th anniversary of the Urban Resource Institute People and Animals Living Safely program. My personal journey has been deeply impacted by the harrowing experience of domestic violence. After serving 17 and a half years in prison, I was released in March 2020 amidst the challenging backdrop of the COVID-19 pandemic. During my time incarcerated, I witnessed a distressing pattern where women were in prison because of domestic violence. It became evident to me that many of these women sought help only to be denied the support they desperately needed. Many found themselves unable to bear the abuse any longer, and they resorted to actions amid as self-protection, ultimately leading to their incarceration. It was during this tumultuous time of my release that I was hoping for a fresh start, but instead found myself becoming a victim of spousal abuse. Starting with virtually nothing and lacking technological expertise, I felt incredibly vulnerable and helpless. Being in a new city, Syracuse, New York, far away from the familiar support of my family and friends in New York City, intensified my fear and isolation. The abuser took advantage of my vulnerable state, exacerbating the violence and control. The situation escalated and reached a critical point where police intervention became necessary, and I found myself in an extremely dire situation. Due to the limited availability of shelters caused by the pandemic, my loved ones managed to secure a hotel reservation for me to allow me to escape the abuse. This experience vividly highlighted the challenges faced by victims of domestic violence and the limited options often available for seeking safety and refuge. For my own safety, I relocated for a period to Florida and then back to New York City. It was in New York City that I discovered the URI PALS program. Through URI PALS, I found solace, guidance, and even a platform to share my story, ultimately hoping to inspire others to break free from the cycle of abuse and find hope in the face of adversity. Throughout my journey of transitioning back into society, my 3 dogs, whom I consider not just pets, but cherished family members and friends, played a pivotal role in providing me with comfort motivation, and a sense of purpose. In times of deep despair and frustration, they became my reason to get up each day and persevere. The unwavering presence and companionship of my dogs were invaluable to me. As often I felt lonely and apprehensive about succumbing to despair. In caring for my dogs, I found solace, joy, and a renewed sense of purpose. They became my source of motivation, reminding me that giving up was not an option. By prioritizing their needs and diligently fulfilling my responsibilities as their guardian, I found a sense of stability and security that extended to my own well-being. They taught me importance of perseverance, unconditional love, and the power of human-animal bonding in promoting healing and personal growth. In essence, my dogs were not just pets. They were vital companions on my journey, providing me with the strength to face each day and never lose sight of my ultimate goals. Prior to finding PALS, I struggled to find a safe environment that would accommodate both me and my dogs. PALS became a lifeline for us, providing the safety and support we desperately needed. It offered a secure environment where my dogs and I could live without fear. The program not only welcomed us, but also provided essential supplies and amenities tailored to our needs, even a safe doggy park within the building structure, and medical care for the animals at no cost to me. I want to especially thank Lucy, whose diligent care went above and beyond throughout my entire time at PALS. I understand those of you who will enjoy a tour of the building will meet Lucy later. I now know that the program's dedication to the welfare of both humans and animals is truly remarkable and has made a significant difference in our lives. I am incredibly grateful for the compassionate care and assistance my dogs and I received, allowing us to thrive and build a brighter future together. In looking back on when I arrived at PALS, I first felt it was a bit restrictive, with a curfew and rules. But then I realized the staff was just trying to help. Having endured years of abuse that left me distrusting and guarded, I had developed a defensive disposition as a means of self-preservation. However, the consistent kindness and genuine concern demonstrated by PALS staff gradually melted my defenses, allowing me to open up myself and truly listen to their guidance and support. I learned to use PALS, not abuse it. I came to a profound realization that every aspect of the program was meticulously designed to prioritize our safety and well-being. I underwent a transformative shift in perspective. Through the unwavering support, I began to understand that the sole objective of the PALS staff was to assist me and my dogs to offer a lifeline. Their acts of kindness were instrumental in helping me rebuild my trust and provided me with the necessary foundation to embark a journey of healing and personal growth. I wholeheartedly embrace the resources and assistance available to me through PALS. I allow myself to seek and receive everything I needed to enhance my well-being and make positive strides toward a brighter future. PALS became a catalyst for positive change and a stepping stone toward a life filled with hope, growth, and newfound opportunities. In reflecting upon this transformation, I am humbled by the power of kindness and genuine care. My time in the PALS program provided a foundation on which to rebuild my life. I successfully achieved a master's in legal studies, a significant milestone in my academic journey. This accomplishment was not without its challenges as I balanced the demands of two jobs while pursuing my education. Despite the obstacles, I persevered and emerged triumphant. Following the departure from PALS and the transition into my own apartment in July, a new chapter began in September. Motivated by a deep-rooted desire to make a positive impact, I founded and my partner founded, Erica McFarland, a nonprofit organization called Gia Gifted Away Incorporated, which is where we freely collect, donate, and deliver furniture to communities concerned. And communities concerned consists of domestic violence survivors as well, because a lot of them leave their furniture when they're in an emergent situation. through which I distribute donated furniture to individuals setting up a new home. Excuse me. A new home after time in social service such as domestic violence shelter or incarceration. I know what it's like to have a residence, but no furniture, no possessions to make it a home. The GIA, which I call it for short, venture embodies my commitment to giving back to the community to helping others who have faced the same challenges as me and creating a platform through which generosity can thrive. It is how I can make a meaningful difference and inspire others to embrace the spirit of giving. Just as the exceptional staff at PALS gave so much invaluable support to me. I extend my heartfelt for everything they have done for me and am carrying that same spirit to others, to help others. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to all those present at this event for the instrumental role in the creation and unwavering support of PALS. Your dedication and commitment have made a profound difference in the lives of countless individuals like myself and their beloved animal companions. On this momentous occasion, I extended my sincerest wishes for many more years of PAL's invaluable work. May this program continue to flourish and expand, providing safety, support, and healing to those affected by domestic violence, while also nurturing the bond between humans and their animal companions. Your efforts have not only transformed lives, but also ignited a beacon of hope and resilience in our communities. Together, we can create a future where survivors of domestic violence find solace and empowerment, and where the importance of human-animal relationships is recognized and celebrated. My journey may have been arduous, I think that's what you said, but the rewards are immeasurable. Thank you, and thank you for having me. Thanks, Mr. Fields.
So wonderful. You did. No. You're amazing. I just, I'm always moved by when someone tells their story. And, we have deep debates on whether to have survivors tell stories about their journey because it's a balance to that. And I'm so happy that we continue to find the right balance. I'm also always so thankful to hear survivors who've been through an experience want to inform others and want to give back. We had a celebration at URI, and sometimes we give nominal support in terms of just to take care of some of the travel and time for the day. And the survivors were handing her a small token of our appreciation. She said to us, "No, I'm good. I want you to give it to another survivor so they can heal the way I have." So it's just tremendous. And again, Vanessa, Ms. Santiago, where are you? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I want to just acknowledge some of our friends in the room as they have started to arrive. I want to acknowledge Rachel Foster. Of course, she's with Heights Advisors, and we work with them to build this. They built this wonderful building, which is now PALS Place. So Rachel, thank you so much. And I'm looking around for some of our team members because I'm not sure who is here. Have we seen Rima Rivera at this point? Oh, right there. Okay. And let me just check in. Debbie Lewis from the governor's office. Where's? Okay. Oh, she's gonna say, "Nat, I'm gonna talk to you because you hugged me when I came in," and I'm not sure. I didn't sleep that well, Miss Lewis. So Debbie Lewis, of course, from Governor Hochul's office, is going to provide us with a few comments. She's a Brooklyn Regional Representative for Governor Kathy Hochul, longtime friend of URI, former volunteer, former Chief of Staff to Assembly Member Brian Cunningham. So she'll share some remarks on behalf of the governor, and hopefully on behalf of herself. All right, excellent. Here you go.
See, Nat was making fun saying that Ken was the senior staffer of URI, but you know. Good morning, everyone. I am so happy to be here. I'm joined actually by Chelsea De Jesus, so if you can come with me and just stand. Chelsea is the constituency services person in Governor Kathy Hochul's office. So she does all the women's affairs. And so I'm going to give these remarks, but she's going to stay. We have like 10 events today. So she's probably just going to hang out with you guys while I run to the next event with the governor. But I just wanted to say congratulations, 10 years of this program. This is amazing. I started out volunteering with URI. My sister, Councilmember Farrah Lewis, actually introduced me to URI, and she was dragging me to do events and do giveaways and different things. And it was always an amazing time. My first time, I wasn't so happy until I actually got there and understood the importance of community and the importance of the essence of the organization. And so I just want to say congratulations on 10 years. Governor Kathy Hochul sends her love and support for URI and on this celebratory day. Before I do her remarks, I just want to shout out Will. Will is a friend and fellow scholar. In my previous role as chief of staff to Assemblymember Brian Cunningham, Will, once he found out I was there, he harassed me every single day to make sure that the budget request for URI was submitted. And not only did my member sign on, but other members sign on as well. And so he's so passionate about the work that it just made sure that I was entrenched more into the work. So thank you, Will, for always being a proud supporter of this work. All right, so Governor Kathy Hochul actually started out, I'm not going to read it, I'm just going to whatever. So she started out actually in public service with her family, and they opened up their first women's supportive housing DV shelter upstate. And so she's a really big supporter of this work. And so we hope that for the next 10 years that you open another 10 PALS programs to continue this work, because we know that pets are family members. Like Vanessa said, we know that pets are, more than just, animals that you carry on a leash or under your arm, right? Like they are supportive measures that are taken in our homes. And we know that URI provides sanctuary spaces for individuals who are in egregious situations. And so we want to make sure that we support you all and we continue to provide the best resources to you as you continue this fight, and that your initiatives continue to follow through what the foundation is for URI. And so we thank you for everything that you're doing. I don't know if Chelsea wants to say anything, but she does this stuff all day. And I really admire the women's affairs team in our office because they cover a plethora of things. So I don't know if you want to say anything.
Hi, everyone. My name's Chelsea De Jesus. I'm an Empire State Fellow, so I'm appointed in the governor's office working on women's affairs issues across the state of New York. So I just want to say I'm really grateful and thankful to be here today. Women's affairs to me is, really personal because of, my background and coming from a single parent home and experiencing violence in the home. So this is really dear to my heart, especially being here today. So I just wanted to say I'm happy to be here. If there's any way that I can support anyone who's in this room with anything along the lines of women's affairs, feel free to come and chat with me. And, we can set something up and see if there's any way we can collaborate. One of the big goals for Women's Affairs is just to make sure we're connecting to the community. And that's something that I make sure is a priority, that we're connecting to all the communities, especially in spaces that are supporting women. And yeah, so reach out to me if you'd like. I'll be sitting here. I'll be here for the remainder of the event today. Thank you.
You. And I'll just add lastly, this was a historic budget that the first female governor of New York State passed, and there was a large investment into women's affairs, women's health, and also into DV. And so that's a FY24 budget, and so we're happy to work through and talk through some of those details as well. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Debbie and Chelsea, for all that you do. Thank you, Debbie, for calling me out on my senior moment. I appreciate that. I'm going to get squared away and make sure I have a good night's sleep. More seriously, we want to ask Rima Rivera to step up. Of course, Rima is the Deputy Commissioner of Domestic Violence Services, HRA Special Services. Rima?
So I first want to thank the powers that be for providing us with such a beautiful day today. When they said it was a rooftop event, I was praying for sunshine. So thank God. I also want to thank Vanessa for sharing her story. It was an incredibly powerful story, and thank you for that. And I want to thank URI for inviting New York City Human Resources Administration to this event to celebrate PALS, because this provides an opportunity to laud the special relationship that HRA has with URI. We at DVS provide non-residential services to domestic violence survivors and families that are in the community, but we are also state mandated to provide residential services to those who need to flee their homes in order to find immediate safety and shelter. We have the largest portfolio of residential shelters in the United States, and URI has a large portion of that portfolio. So our relationship is very special. I am eternally grateful for they repeatedly step up to meet the challenges of survivors and their families in the community. And I think PALS is a testament to that. And anyone who's ever had the opportunity to walk by my desk will see that I have about 15 pictures of my little dog Huey, one picture of my husband, and I should add that I just got married last year. So that kind of tells you something. But I think what I'm most grateful for is the fact that even after they launched PALS 10 years ago, URI has never just rested on their laurels. They continue to find innovative and creative ways to meet the challenges that our survivors face every day, because they know those challenges, they recognize those challenges. And I just want to thank URI for their staff, Nat, for helping our survivors and their families thrive. So thank you for that.
And Rima, thank you for all that you do. I want to also recognize some of our other partners. Of course, the New York State Office of Children and Family Services are here with us. And again, sometimes we feel like city providers over here and governments over there, they're truly our partners. They have a particular role to satisfy. There's sometimes some tension between the provider community and the government community, but we get there because we all want to do what's in the best interest of survivors and their pets. So speaking of the journey, I want to introduce one of our great partners. Uh, Commissioner Cecile Noel of NGBV. She's been the commissioner since 2015. Before that, of course, she was the executive deputy commissioner of HRA's Emergency Intervention Services. She did quite a bit to continue, particularly in city government, to raise awareness of DV and with the team increase capacity both on the DV residential side as well as on the non-residential side. I want to say she and I have traveled through many buildings together. I'm chuckle sometimes because when I come into buildings, team members will say, "Have you been here before?" And I often, not anymore because we have a wonderful team, but we will sort of be there when a building is sort of a tenement or before it's built. So we've been there, and I want to say Cecile Noel has been in some of those buildings with me many years ago. So welcome a true hero to a Shiro to the stage, Commissioner Cecile Noel.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you this morning. Let's start. On behalf of Mayor Adams and the Adams administration, it's really my honor to be here for now 10 years, Nat, going on 10 years of this work. Thank you to everyone here, Governor's office, of course, my dear colleague and friend, Rima Rivera and HRA. Your partnership is wonderful, DHS. I don't know how we could do it without you all. So thank you all for being here this morning. And to the incredible URI team, you do have a team, and it is an amazing team. And they've been wonderful partners and wonderful providers of amazing work in your facilities. So thank you for that. Uh, as was said, I'm the commissioner for the mayor's office to end domestic and gender-based violence. And I'm honored to join you for this launch of the 10th anniversary of the URI People and Pets Living Safely program and opening this really wonderful rooftop haven. So it's been amazing and it's been a journey. And Nat and I have been on this journey a long time. I came to this building when you first opened the building. I was at the building when we first opened the PALS program for the first time. Lots of difficult discussions for that first one. Lots of really difficult discussions. But just as Nat said, we were there. There were good discussions. We had concerns. We had the right to have concerns. But you know what? We came together. You managed it. We figured out how to find the middle ground. And in the end, isn't that what we're really supposed to do, right? We should have those difficult conversations. But in the end, it didn't stop it. It just made sure that we could address it in meaningful ways and ensure that both survivors and the pets and the program is really moving forward well. And so we want to really thank you for that. Vanessa, I want to thank you for your wonderful words. I think there's nothing more that I could possibly say that hasn't been said by you about the importance of having a space like this, right? And what it's done for you, it's doing, not done, doing every day in the lives of survivors who unfortunately have to come in this space but are so happy that it exists and that it's here for them to be able to make that next step, right? To be able to bring their pets and have a future. So in our daily work with survivors, we witness the trauma of domestic and gender-based violence inflicts on our communities and the most vulnerable. I am indebted to everyone here and to our community advocates. The road to recovery for so many survivors is powered by your resiliency and your compassion. You have my profound admiration and deepest gratitude. Every day, survivors are fleeing their homes, and they need places like this to be able to stay. They need to be able to know that we can provide them with the safety and the healing so that they continue the journey. 10 years. 10 years of people living safely with pets, and when we started this, I didn't think we'd get here, but we're here. And 10 years from now, you're going to have more. And your impact on not only the New York shelter community, but the national shelter community has to be recognized and is really meaningful. And this can only grow, and it's growing in the most wonderful ways. So we're really thankful for the program, thankful for your work here, Nat, thankful that we had those conversations and that we'll continue to have them in this space. You have an amazing team that ensures that good work happens every day. And the survivors who are blessed to be able to partake of those services are equally gratified that you are here in their darkest hour. So thank you all, and thank you all for the partnership at the state level, at the city level, at every level that makes this happen. And we have to all continue to be committed to ensuring that spaces like these continue to grow and nourish the folks who have to go through them. So thank you.
I do want to recognize also some of our other city government partners uh, on behalf of course, the administrator for Department of Homeland Services. We have Iris Rodriguez here. Thanks for coming, Iris. I also want to acknowledge our board member, Phyllis Arnold, who's, of course, continues to show up to many events and provide her direct support. it's going to be quite interesting to see how or what route Dr. Carla Smith takes to get to the podium, but we'll see. I don't say this to you often enough, Carla. I so appreciate how you keep your eye on the work and the level of compassion you have for both staff and for, I know my shades of transition, and for the compassion you have for both staff and clients. Sometimes that could be a little to the other side, and Carla often provides the balance that allows staff members. But you know when you tell something truthful, right? Carla often provides the balance. Not only she's smart and talented, she has a good sense of when we need to draw a bit more to the center of staff and keep them leading in. The work can be so difficult, and sometimes not enough appreciation is given. So thank you for all that you do, Dr. Smith. She's going to take it from here.
Thank you. Now, of course, none of this work would be possible. My job is made much easier by the staff that actually does this work in the field. I do want to acknowledge our partners from OCFS as well, who are in the room, who are often here helping us to license shelters as they come on. We've had long time relationships with OCFS, so thank you so much for being here as well. Appreciate you. So I do want to thank all of our esteemed speakers, Regional Director Lewis and Chelsea, Commissioner Noel, Deputy Commissioner Rivera, and of course Vanessa. Always wonderful to be reminded why we're doing this work, and appreciate your strength and courage in coming forward and sharing your story. So we appreciate you taking the time to do that. As Nat mentioned, I'm Dr. Carla Smith. I'm the Deputy CEO of Urban Resource Institute. I've been here for 8 years now. Time has flown by. While PALS was already underway when I got here, I was really excited as I was looking for my next opportunity to find a place like URI to call home. I was really looking for a home, and I found that here in this organization, and was probably brought through the door as well, in part because of the PALS program. I think yeah, exactly. So the PALS program brought me here as well, to a large degree, and really excited about URI's commitment to innovative services. I do want to acknowledge our team members who actually do this work every day. Mariah Kelly, our program director here at PALS, in the back. Everybody can see Mariah. You want to stand up, Mariah, just so everybody can see you? I don't put you. Thank you. Our senior director, Leslie Samuel Young, and Ida Landers, if y'all could sort of stand up. Our PALS teams, Lena, Lucy, I'm trying to see who else is in the front. You guys raise your hands. Our PALS team, these are the people who are doing the work, sorry, each and every day. This development of this, as well as our pet haven in the back that you all will see when you go on the tour, represents the partnership, in part supported by funders, but also by our operations team. And none of this work would happen without our operations team. So I do want to give a shout out to Dionizio and Adrian. I'm not sure if Adrian is outside. They are often in the background, but this would not happen without them. And Charlie Carroll, who was here at the onset of developing the site, and Beverly Riddick, our COO as well. And oh, and in the back, Andrew Edwards in the back, who's our facility director. Sorry. Takes a lot of hands to do this work, but I'm so proud to be at this organization where we are so dedicated to creating transformational spaces and programs. There's nothing more powerful than watching a client transition to safety as they exit our doors, and to while they're coming in a different place, they begin their road to healing here. And to be able to watch that transition and see the impact of our staff is what keeps us doing this work. So we're really proud of all of you, and it couldn't be done without you. I also do want to give a shout out to Tanya Jospie. I'm a little off script. Apologies. But Tanya heads up our quality improvement evaluation training. I think it's the second longest title. And she works with her team to really equip our staff and support our staff with training and resources to make sure that we are providing quality services. So thank you, Tanya, for you and your team. Okay, so now that I'm off script, let me just get myself reoriented. So as Nat mentioned, this is a wonderful occasion to celebrate our 10 years of service here, but there's so much unfinished business. And I would be remiss if I did not remind us that there is a significant need for more funding to support this work. As we have continued to grow, the organization continues to invest and reinvest resources to support this ongoing work. There's a need for policies. We continue to work on that with Lauren and Will at the helm. They are keeping us really busy. For the people who are talking about how they're calling the governor's office, they're also calling us every day. And so, but we're happy to have them as part of our team. And for increased awareness. Each of you can play a role in that and continue to play a role. So we look forward to having you join us, especially new people who might be with us, as we work towards seeing what the next 10 years will look like. As we prepare to officially open the Pet Haven and the garden, I want to make sure that I want to make sure I've included everybody in that list. I did. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to have a ribbon cutting, but we're going to be working on making sure that you all have access to a tour for those who have not seen this beautiful, beautiful building and space. We will gather for the official ribbon cutting, which I believe will be here, correct? And to open this space, and I'm some people to join me. That is going to be Ken McCrae, Nat Fields, Jennifer White Reed, Maria Kelly, Vanessa Santiago, Hope Dawson, Director Lewis or Chelsea, both. Vicky, our Chief Development Officer. I have to give a shout out. Chief Development Officer. This is the very important position in this organization, bringing resources. And Vicky has joined our team this last year, and so we're so excited for her to be here. And our Marcom team. Nothing would happen without Marcom. I want to make sure I give that shout out. If I forgot anybody, I'll hear about it later, I'm sure. But Commissioner, if you would join us, Deputy Commissioner Rivera, Beverly, Riddick, and Phyllis, our board member. If you guys could come up and we'll cut the ribbon. Oh, and I cannot not give a special recognition to Dondi. Dondi, if everybody has probably met Dondi on their way in here, but Dondi has been working day and night with the team and the PALS staff here at this facility, this place ready for this event. So thank you.
Ready? Thank you.